Hey guys, Peter here to tell you about the latest from Sylosis, A Sign of Things to Come, out right now on Nuclear Blast. This album has 10 tracks, 43 minutes in length, and this is the band's 6th full-length studio album. They are a UK metal band. From a design point of view, this album offers at first glance a very balanced and cohesive approach, but that's not necessarily the case. There are intros of songs and even a track like Absent that break away from the density thickness that the volume of this album has as far as the soundscape is concerned. These little pockets, these little moments, either be the intros or Absent as a track, are really important to make the album more fluid, more dynamic, and definitely more engaging without changing the overall DNA and still keeping that balance and cohesive approach together from start to end. From a soundscape point of view, this album is meaty. It sounds big, it's thick, it's heavy, and it's consistently heavy from start to end. And that becomes the calling card of the entire experience of this album. Everything is kind of gearing up in order to provide that feel, either be the guitars or the drums. Even the bass works a little bit as a glue in order to add a little bit extra around the edges, making the album feel slightly bigger. Now, when you look at the guitar sound on this album, it's definitely the main spinal cord that connects all the other elements. This is a very guitar-centric record, and that guitar-centricness of this album really allows the heaviness of the record to start and finish with the guitars. I love the solos. They add a little bit more life. They break away from that density. They break away from that heaviness, allowing tracks to at times gain a little bit more of a thinner space, giving you more of a sense of movement, becoming a little bit more direct. But overall, the guitars always go back to that heaviness, always fall back into that big wall of sound that this record has created. From a drums point of view, I like the sound, I like the experience. That it controls the volatility and the heaviness of the guitars. The sound of the guitars being heavy, being meaty, normally it creates a sense of spreading too far and maybe breaking a little bit what would be the shape of the songs. It's not the case here because the drums keep those guitar sounds in check. They allow you to feel like there are parameters, that there is a box that was created where the guitars can exist, but the drums are keeping it contained so that the sound quality feels a lot smoother, feels a lot better without taking anything away from the raw aggression, intensity, and heaviness that the album provides. The bass on this album is interesting because it feels super subtle, but it wasn't forgotten. It's not removed. It doesn't disappear in the mix. It's there. If you're paying attention and you're listening to it, you can see that the bass is creating a nice little impact on the bottom part of the record, on the bottom part of the sound, almost allowing the drum sound to continue and blend in with the guitar experience, giving a more smooth approach and bringing together all the different sonic pieces that this album have, allowing it to become the glue that brings it together, making the overall experience better defined, and once again without taking anything away from the heaviness or brutality of the record. Now, from a vocal standpoint, the album is very dynamic. The clean vocals really help set up the more harsh and extreme vocal approach. But it's an album that's really well balanced from that perspective, always understanding the dynamic of the songs, playing off of the lyrical content, what drives, what pushes, what mood the track is trying to create at any given point, and then using the right vocal approach in a very organic perspective in order to create a smooth but interesting impact on what the songs are trying to tell in terms of the picture that they put forward. The vocal performance is on par with the overall sound that this record gives. All around from Sylosis, this album, at least from my perspective, it feels like an easier album to digest. The guitars feel more straightforward. It's not necessarily about creating elements that allow the guitars to move in different directions. It's rather an album that consists of using the guitars as the main focal point, and the second focal point is making sure that they are heavy and consistently heavy from beginning to end. Because of this, the album is easy to understand, is easy to grasp, is easy to connect with, and that makes this a very interesting and enjoyable listening experience. As far as favorite tracks are concerned, I want to start off with A Sign of Things to Come. The riff in this song is absolutely killer. It has thickness to it as well, but it carries the mood of the track extremely well, matched then with the aggression of the vocals. Using the clean vocals on this track really sets up what the harsh vocals then deliver. The chorus is super hooky, mostly from the vocal approach and how the nuances of the vocal tone hits that track and hits specifically that point in the track, but it definitely puts an exclamation mark on the entire song. Everything gravitates, everything is moving you into that chorus, and then the hookiness is what keeps you there. Now, it has some melancholic moments, but you always look forward to the aggression that comes around it. It allows you to see the way the movement of the song operates from verses to chorus, all the different momentums, a track that really stands out because of its construction and definitely because of its execution. Next we have Pariahs. This is an absolute banger, heavy driven, circle pit style song. It's not one of those tracks that you want to just sit back, enjoy, or headbang to. This is one of those that you want to get into the pit and you want to get wild with it. It has that sort of movement, it has that sort of impact. From the verses to the chorus, you see the path right in front of you and it keeps pushing you forward towards it. It has all the right ingredients to be one of those absolute bangers. There are some modern metalcore elements in the guitar sound, but that just adds extra spice to the overall thickness and heaviness that the guitars put forward. The solo is really interesting and allows you to see a little bit more of the technical side of the band. The last but not least, Eye for an Eye, another super heavy and aggressive song. It has a more melancholic chorus in the sound and in the vocals, but this makes the song feel like it has a lot more ebbs and flows. It's a little bit of a roller coaster ride from beginning to end. I like the synth in this song. It's not always there from start to finish, but it's there in order to match the experience that you get in that melancholic chorus and connect that mood, that atmosphere really well throughout the track. That synth is extremely important to keep the song connected throughout all of its different momentums. This is it, Sylosis, A Sign of Things to Come. Tell me, what do you think about this record? What are your favorite songs? Are you surprised with this album? Are you impressed with this album? Use the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care.